Welcome. On this channel, I make videos about Linux programming and stuff. These videos are always unedited, unscripted, completely unresearched. It just is whatever I happen to be working on at the time, which currently is me relearning C. And I've kind of recently gone back through just looking at the basic types and setting up a makefile and all of that kind of stuff. And now I'm starting to dive a little bit deeper into the language. My plan today is to start to look at memory allocation. My intention is probably to write an arena allocator, but I'm just going to poke around with Malloc a little bit today. And see where that goes. So what I have been doing is I have a folder full of C stuff. And for each video, I have just been creating a copy of the previous. It's just a little demo program that I have going, and it works well for these. So we'll call this one Malloc. Oops. So we'll drop into that folder, make clean. I don't know how I left it before. This program is, I am using a unified build, as they call it, I guess, where all of the source code is included into a single main.c compilation unit. And so currently, this does not do much. It's just a hello world, basically. And what we're going to do here is start to experiment a little with Malloc. I have in my downloads folder a Frankenstein.txt from Project Gutenberg. And what I want to do right now is just run the program, pass a parameter of the file name or multiple files, and then just have it output those files. Maybe break it into lines or something. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're just experimenting, making up reasons to explore Malloc is really what I'm doing, right? So the first part of that is we're going to have to run the program and pull stuff off of the... what is that? What do I get when I do this? So how to, well, you know what? Copilot will tell me. So main is, yep. So it's int argc and a character pointer to an array, argv. That is what I want, except for I don't need it to end there. I want it to end here, and then I no longer need the old. Okay, so given that, what I want to do is I want to iterate over I equals 0 while I is less than argc. I want to increment I and just start by outputting them. That's a good start, right? So we can run that. We passed no arguments, so it didn't do anything. But if I do... if I run it as, so it's bin demo 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. The next thing we need to do is we need to open a file. Oops. And there we go. So the next thing I need to do is open a file. And I can probably let Copilot walk me through this. So it's going to be a file to a file pointer that we need to open with fopen. We want it to be a read. We need to verify that the file pointer didn't come back null. Oops. Sorry. Not used to. Let's do this again. Okay, we need to verify, otherwise we need to just return an error. That's all good. We can go with that. The next thing I want to do is to, I'm going to leave this here for now. The next thing I want to do at the bottom of this is an fclose, right? Yep, fclose that file pointer. So now I've opened the file. Let me do this. I'm going to update the run so that it always passes that Frankenstein file. There we go. So I don't need that unless I'm going to add some headers, and I don't think I will be for this. So what I need to do is what I want to do is I want to read the file into a buffer. So I need to know the size of the file. How do I call stat from... So it's in systemstat.h. Is that actually right? So there we're opening it. They're giving us the modes. I should get better with using man to do this. I know that it's, like, maybe I'll just stumble my way through that. Man C programming stat function. How do I stat 2 or hold it? No. Man stat. But I think what it's gonna, oh no, yeah, what it's showing me, of course, is the stat command. Man2 stat. There we go. So now it's showing me the function, right? Yeah, it's showing me the function. So it's in systat.h. So that's the first thing. Source main. We need not string. We want sys stat.h. Okay. Include that, and then what it takes is just the path name. And struct stat restrict. What is that? That's what it's going to return information in. Let's take a look at C programming stat function. What did I have open a second ago? Here it is. Doesn't look like they call stat in that anywhere. So here they're just walking through. And this is what I'm not doing, which is, right, I could just walk through the data and print it out. But what I want to do is I'm playing with, my goal is to play with Malloc. So I want to stat the file, see how big it is, load it into memory, and then walk through it, for no real purpose other than that I'm exploring memory allocation. C programming, let's... So I assume that what I need to do is to pass it the pointer to a stat struct. And so the right way for me to do that is going to be, I'm going to need a stat hell, my memory really is awful. So I'm gonna I just worked through this the other day, so I want to split this, and I want to go back and look at 015, 014, drop into source and into demo. And so I want to define, or hold it, I don't want to define a struct. I want to have a struct of the type stat. I want to have a struct. Yeah, I want to have a struct of the type stat, but and named. We'll call it st, just what it's suggesting, right? So it's a I have a struct of type stat. I need to. So what I'm going to do here is once I know I have the file, right, I'm going to call stat. It's going to be, I'm passing it the path of this file name and the address of the stat record. I don't know what's in the stat record yet, but hopefully that doesn't blow up. It does not. Okay, so yeah, let's go back and man to stat and so it looks like it's recommending those constants, but I don't know where they'll come up. So let's first all of these commands return. So that's this record. Okay. I kind of knew. I'm not sure, so I want to go back here. I want to look at something. Like, I seen that when I was looking at this stat thing. I'm curious about what man 1, 2, and 3, if there's a pattern to this. Is 2 always the functions and 3 always like the structures? Man 3 stat. I don't know. I have to find out. But here's what we're going to get back. And most importantly to me, what I want right now is I want to get the size, total size in bytes, which is st size. And it looks like it's type of off t, whatever that is. That's the only reference. So once I have this, let's try to do printf. That's exactly what I wanted, was the file size. Why long D? I'm assuming it knows correctly that that's what it is. But let's run that. And then, so we got 448928. LS, LAJ, LS. And the size is how do I get the exact size? I'm sure it is a match, right? Oh, I can stat it with the command line. So stat Frankenstein will give it to me. And I can see it's 448928 bytes. And when I ran this, I got 448928 bytes. Okay. So presumably then, the thing that I want to do is I'm going to malloc. We're going to need a character pointer to the we'll call it to, yeah, we'll just call it to buff. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say buff malloc st size. And then the last thing I have to do, of course, is free buff. In theory, you know, I want to use the file here. But that all looks good. Okay, so I have the buffer pointer. I'm gonna, yeah, and then I'm gonna call it current equals buff, right? So I think that it's going to be safe to say for int j equals 0 up to the size get I want to I just want to print a character. This is going to be ridiculous, retarded slow. I want to print a character. I think it's just %c, and I want to print buff. Well, actually, I don't need current, right? I want to print buff j. So I don't need current. Okay, let's see what happens. That does nothing. So we know st size is the right size. What is man to printf? Man printf. Oh, C has produced no further output. Well, that would it doesn't want that. What I want to do is man printf a character. So, I want the sprint produce no further output form feed. Is this what I want to, where I'll find the definitions for, following integer conversion corresponds to a sign. So the following integer conversion is assigned. I don't care about that. The following integer conversion is short blah. I don't want to convert it. I actually just want to print it. But what I could do is just to get it to run. Let's start with that. Oops. Oh, I never, so I allocated it, but I've never read into the buffer the file contents. So what I need is is it read from a file descriptor? It's right here. So we got read int. That's the so read file descriptor, the void buffer, and then the size, and it's going to return size t, how much it read. So we can first let's fill the buffer. So we allocated the file. We know its size. We allocated the memory. Now we're going to read it, right? You know, this is obviously me putzing through things that I haven't done in ages. Okay, so we're going to create a value for size t bytes red is a fine name. We're going to say bytes red equals. Oops, what did I just do that for? I want to read. So that's bytes red. This is the file descriptor, which we have named FP. We have the buffer. I don't quite get that notation. But we have the buffer, which is just buff, I think. And this is what we want to read, which is going to be st.st size. Right? So now the thing that I want to do different is I don't want to use st size anymore. I want to use bytes red. I don't know what just happened. It read Frankenstein. Okay, so now, in theory, it didn't blow anything up. It gave me the file size. Is there a puts C? Oh, there's a puts character apparently. Is bytes red must be 0. I think it's LU for a size T. Oh, I wonder if it's let's ask the internet this one. So okay, so size T is ZU, SS size T is ZD. Let's just ignore this for the time being. And so we read... okay, so I'm doing something wrong. 4 int j equals blah, j is less than bytes red, j plus plus, buff j. Put character. So let's... instead of that, let's have it just put a so if I bin demo, there's no way that this is different than so I read bytes red here and I printed it and it told me that it's 400K, 450K. Interesting. I kind of missed that it was doing that conversion there, but obviously that's... let's... oh, fuck. Sorry. I actually really almost entirely should just turn off Copilot because all it does is mislead you when you're trying to learn something. I mean, I don't know, it helps. But I probably would have, if I was typing that myself, I certainly wouldn't have done that. Oops. -1. So let's take a look. So we open it. I don't see a read. Where's a read? Where's a read? They're still not using read. So, I want to, what is, okay, so fread. This function reads some number of items. Okay, and read. Read attempts to read up to count bytes from the file descriptor into the buff. On files that support seeking, the read operation commences at the file offset, blah, blah, blah. If the count is 0, read may detect errors, describe blah, 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 blah. Return value. On success, the number of bytes read is returned. 0 indicates end of file, and the file position is advanced by this number. It is not an error if this number is smaller than the number of bytes requested. This may happen, blah, 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 blah. But I'm guessing the -1, okay, on error -1, so we can get the value from error no. And C error no to string. How do I know what error no means? So I want to include error no and string H. And I also want string H. And now what I want to do is if bytes read is less than 0, no, I want to do if bytes read is greater than -1, and then I want to do this stuff. Else I want to do other stuff. And the other stuff in this case is I want to interpret bytes read as an error no value. So p error is fine. No, actually, oops. Let's look here. Str error no is what I want to do. So, right. Nope, not quite. What I want to do is p error. That, and then return. Nope. I would still need to free the buffer and return. So what I want to do here is I would only, so we need to set a return value. So our main is returning an int, so we can predefine that as success, but what's going to happen here is we're going to say return val equals 1. And I am missing a semicolon. Okay, bad file descriptor. Bad file descriptor. So what I... does it want the... okay, I don't quite... I mean, I get the... I get what it's telling me, but don't know why. So, C... read bad file descriptor. I wonder if it wants the full path. No, maybe. So we're opening a file. Let me ask this a little different. fopen file descriptor. It should just be, how can I convert a file pointer to a file descriptor? The proper function is file, int file no. It can be found here. Okay, so they're not the same thing. Good to know. I have standard IO already included, so what I need to do is call file no the file pointer. So if I go here and say file no, pass it the pointer, right? Is that what it wants? Seems to be the thing. There we go. So we actually read the bytes. We're printing the things out. There we go. We print the file. Now, if we call, let's do this really simple. Let's say bin demo. And what I want to do is I want to pass it the Frankenstein file, but then I'm going to pass it my make file. And the last thing we see come out is the make file. So it's running through both of those. So that was the basics of what I wanted to do. I'm not going to clean this up any. But I am going to keep, I'll keep it along with this video. These are just dumb learning little exercises. And you can see, obviously, they're necessary because I had no idea that I had to convert the file pointer to a file descriptor that does, I don't know the difference. It's something for me to investigate. Oh, and I guess if I was going to bother making that return val, I should return the return val. So if I run this now, if I run this and then echo that, but if I run it and I give it a file name that doesn't exist, ooh, that's interesting. What's going on there? Okay, if the file didn't exist, this should have failed, shouldn't it? And it should have exited. I want to, for now, just not have any of that. So I've opened the file. I don't need to free the buffer then. I haven't created a buffer for it yet. So error opening file, no such file. I get this. Ooh. Error opening file, colon, no such file. How is that happening? Right? So is this, does p error append the error no for me? Let's find out. No. I have to do it here. Yes, it's appending like the error no information. But it doesn't have. Okay, I need to understand. Do you need to close the file if there was an error. But that return 1, I would have thought, or well, puts, so I don't have to. Nah, we'll do. My assumption is we should never hit that code. Apparently I exited Vim. Didn't mean to. Source demo. And why did I get... Why do I get this output twice? So... Oh, it's putting argsv here, right? Okay, so I get that one. Let's do printf opening %s argv1, right? And then we just want a carriage return here, a line feed. So now bunch of warnings, but it is making, right? I didn't see the warnings. I should. So it's opening bin. Oh, I don't think I had caught that. So I don't want to start. I want to start with 1. I want to start with the args, right? Make. Opening that, no such file or directory. And I'm not seeing this. So that's exactly what I would have expected. So if that's true, why does any of this change anything? It doesn't now. And if I switch this back to 0, will it? No. So let's take a look at the warnings. Implicit declaration of read. Did I mean fread? So read. Is it the same? It is not the same. Too few arguments. So I think that fread, does fread replace read? I'm going to have to check that out. But for the moment, I'm not going to fix these. So I kind of accomplished what I set out to accomplish, right? We just kind of stumbled our way through reading a file into a buffer and then outputting it. That was the first thing. Just use Malloc, free it, do some files. It's a good place to start. Next video, well, I'm not going to try and predict it. I'll continue down this path, maybe sort out what these errors are, and can take it a little bit further towards eventually building a arena allocator, I think. Anyway, that is all.